Local 5 is proud to bring you the times of food, all the fun, and the great times from the supper clubs across Northeast Wisconsin. This is a special presentation of The Dish on Wisconsin Supper Clubs, presented by Cellcom and Appleton Retirement Community. Now your host, Local 5 news anchor and supper club enthusiast, Michelle McCormack.
Hello and welcome to The Dish on Wisconsin Supper Club Special. Since this is the month we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, we're revisiting some of the best storytellers in what we call the Gift of Gab edition. We begin in Winnebago County, a place that serves corned beef all year round, a favorite dish among Irish Americans. With a guy named Finnegan running the place, it's bound to be fun, but don't get me wrong, as you're about to see, they're serious about meat. On a night when it's usually closed, Cattail Supper Club in the town of Winchester, Winnebago County, is jumping. Hosting UW alumni as the owners amp up their usual Wednesday through Sunday supper club service.
July and August were a little slower, but I expected it to be because we're not out on the water and summer's pretty short in Wisconsin. People travel, people like to go restaurants on the water, but now things are picking back up again.
It was a member of the Wisconsin Alumni Association of the Fox Valley who first popped in for supper back in the summer and knew it would be perfect for the fall get-together. These alum and other Badger supporters are big on networking and supporting small business.
The Wisconsin idea is the idea that the UW is beyond the bounds of the campus. It's not just in Madison, it's statewide.
Their special guest is a leading food researcher from UW who says there is both a science and an art to supper clubbing, and either way, those who take part are supporting both the ag industry and family-owned business.
In Wisconsin, supper clubs are really important. You know, they're the fabric of part of the fabric of the state of Wisconsin, and meat science and the meat industry is also regarding how animals can be raised more humanely, how meat production can be more efficient, more cost effective, and then how consumers can have the most enjoyable eating experience, the most affordable eating experience, and the safest eating experience.
There is no shortage of conversation when you're meeting up with Badgers fans, and that's the idea, that supper is a lot more than eating, it's feeding friendships.
We are all about supper clubs, and we have two very good friends from our hometown, which is Marinette, and we've lived in Appleton for a long time. But what we do with these friends is we go around looking for supper clubs to meet every few months. And so we're always looking for supper clubs. And the fact that you do this on your network is wonderful. It's just such a tradition like UW-Madison is.
Cattails represents a resurgence. Word has traveled fast how finally an area that once had half a dozen supper clubs, then none, is finally making a comeback on the culinary circuit.
And I don't like to cook, so it's the perfect reason to let's go out.
People know each other. They run into neighbors and friends, and people's kids work here that they're like, oh my gosh, you're so-and-so's kid. I thought I haven't seen you since you were 10. So it's a really great community effort, but also a lot of people like to travel for supper clubs. Before I owned a supper club, we would travel an hour and a half away just to try something new.
Led by 21-year-old son Finnegan, who's in charge of a school and college-age staff that is the living embodiment of the next generation keeping up this beloved Wisconsin tradition.
I call it you have steak on your plate. It means so much more to you, it's my livelihood. I put everything into this place. It's all I ever do. I live right upstairs, so nice and close. I mean, it means everything, doing this with my mom and dad,
How is the supper club positioned to offer the best product to the consumer?
Yeah, so supper clubs are in a really great position to offer a really wholesome and safe and nutritious meat product to consumers because supper clubs are places that Wisconsinites trust. Right? They come here, they expect that they're going to have a great experience, and part of the experience is beyond, the casual, having an old-fashioned or two, or some small talk about the Packers, the Brewers, or the beloved Badgers. It's about being able to sit down with your family and feel confident that the food that they're going to be served is safe, wholesome, nutritious, and of course meat is often the center of the plate item.
What kind of responsibility do you feel as the head chef here?
As a head chef, yeah, that is true. Having the presentation, making sure that every single product is out properly. Same thing with steaks. We make sure that our temps are on point. If not, we'll refire anything at any time. We always want to have everyone at the table sitting and eating at the same time. So those things are super important to us.
Yeah, what do you think the Supper Club experience offers that you can't get at a typical restaurant?
The Supper Club dining experience is a lot nicer. You get to go in, you get to sit at the bar, you get to have time before you actually sit at your table. It's more of a curated experience than just going into a normal restaurant and placing a normal order.
Be sure to check the Cattail's Facebook page for other special foodie events. And in honor of March Madness, the Wisconsin Alumni Association is collecting Wisconsin team clothing to donate to the Community Clothes Closet through March 20th. Now, isn't that grand? I hope you're ready for some more, though, because when we come back...
And there's only the owners that know and the cook.
My search for the secret ingredient at Kropp Supper Club in Howard, and some stories from Gilly the bartender that will have you saying, I'll have another, when the Dish on Wisconsin Supper Club's Gift of Gab special comes right back. As we approach St. Patrick's Day, stories abound, as the Irish are known for the gift of gab. That same quality is alive and well at Kropp Supper Club in Howard, although there's one thing they won't talk about: what's in their batter.
I do. I walk in here and all I think of is it reminds me of so many other places when I was 5, 6, 7, 8.
It's the ambiance. It's the old world ambiance of a simpler time. It takes you back in history.
It was a dream come true for Supper Club lovers Danny and Bob Kapla to carry on the tradition started by the Kropps in the 40s.
My husband and I patronized Kropp's often because we don't live very far away, and we loved it here. We loved the feel of the place. So we would come out and we often talked about, if Margaret would ever sell, would we ever be interested?
Located along Shawano Avenue in Howard, it's the one-time boarding house of Civil War hero Edward Lawler, who was drawn to the area in its lumber mill heyday.
This building has been here since 1904, and you can see little hints of it here and there. But then also when Clarence and Isabel took over, they put their stamp on it, and Merlin and Marge did the same things. You have that all kind of rolled up in one, and it's just this, people have claimed to feel like it's Cheers, like it's the place where everybody knows your name. Small enough where they feel comfortable coming by themselves.
Danny and Bob keep all those familiar touches started by the Kropps.
It's our secret recipe for adding our little pizzazz to our old fashions.
Everyone knows you got to have some type of sweetener to go with the mixture, so that's our sweetener that we make.
Yeah, in-house, without giving out too many details.
Yeah. It's like our batter. Our batter's been handed down through all the owners since 1946-ish.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, because it's not a beer batter.
Yeah.
It's not like a panko batter or crumbs. It is something different than that, that's lighter than a beer batter, and it's flaky.
Try as I might, I cannot find out about this secret ingredient, and I've been banned from the kitchen.
The loyalty that we have from our staff is just wonderful.
Really? You don't know what's in the batter? No. Working the bar for answers gave me time to get to know longtime bartender Gilly. How long have you been bartending here?
Been tending bar probably 35 years, but I've been kind of involved with the place for 46.
All right, and how is that?
I married a Kropp girl, 1978, and kind of filtered in over the years.
So if you married into the Kropp family, you were kind of expected to work somehow in the supper club?
No, they asked me, even before we got married, they asked me to tend bar and stuff. My wife's grandparents were after me, so I was playing a lot of softball and stuff then, bowling. I didn't have time, but eventually I retired from all that, and I didn't fall in time.
So you must like it then if you're still doing it.
Oh yes, definitely. Love it. Love the people. It's the public.
I mean, I don't see anybody crying in their beer around here.
Nobody's drinking beer. They're all drinking booze.
What is the drink you make the most?
Old fashions.
Brandy or with whiskey?
I would say whiskey.
Ooh.
20 years ago, it probably was turned around completely. 20 years ago, probably for every whiskey drink you made 15 brandy drinks. Now it's just totally turned around. The majority of them are whiskey. But you get your younger people, they go with the Seagrams, the Captain, and that kind of stuff. But we don't have a whole lot of people that drink that stuff. And a lot of them go with the rye. Rye is really popular.
Yeah. Why do you think it's important to keep the supper club tradition going?
Well, the place wouldn't be the same without it. It's been here for 78 years now. It's been tradition.
I would have to say they're probably the finest frog legs that you could get in a supper club in the state of Wisconsin, and very few places ever serve frog legs anymore.
And the batter makes these ones particularly special.
Yes.
It's just like, a family, because you get to know people. Even if you don't know them, you get to know them.
Never mind figuring out their secret recipes. I found the ingredient that makes Kropp so special. The people.
It's hard to explain how this place takes hold of you and grabs you. I mean, I was all in when we bought it, but not like, if you'd have told me I'd been in love with this place the way I am now, I never, ever would have thought that.
Happy birthday to you.
Kropp's is open Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Don't go anywhere. We're getting pumped for the NFL draft, and we've got a feast for Packers fans. And the legendary Packers, they would have eaten in here,
Sure,
too.
Packers would have eaten here all through the years, yeah, without question. Yep.
Where legends of the game lived and ate, as told by the Irish American who's running the Union Hotel. Next. Aside from Packer season, St. Patrick's Day is the time to wear your green, and we might as well keep that going into April when it's Titletown's turn to host the NFL Draft. So let's feast on some Packers glory wrapped up in a tasty morsel that is the Union Hotel.
We actually our family bought the hotel in 1918, a year before the Packers were founded in 1919. Back in the day, a lot of the players, the pay wasn't the same, so they stayed local. So a good many of the stars actually started up businesses in the Green Bay, De Pere area. We had a large number of them that lived here in De Pere, and obviously people from Green Bay. It wasn't that far of a trip for them to come here. So we had a number of the players and coaches through the years coming through the Union Hotel. They've been serving food in this particular room since 1883.
And the legendary Packers, they would have eaten in here,
Sure,
too.
Packers would have eaten here. Primarily the Packers from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, yeah.
Are there any historic recipes that remain?
Well, we still, with the rolls that we make each day, our great-grandma's recipe, so those go back to 1918. A number of the pies probably go back into the 30s, 40s, 50s, that we make. The Sham Tort recipe, that's something we've been doing for, I'm going to say probably the 40s that we started doing that, and it's also very popular. A number of other recipes that we have that have fallen out of favor. They just aren't as popular of dishes, dinner items, still exist, and on occasion we'll pull those out. Just a variety of different specials that we did a real good job with.
There's no way you're eating all of that.
You'll see. We are standing at the door to Dad Brazier's room, where he lived for 40 years. He coached my great uncles and my dad, and also taught a good number of the family at De Pere High School, where he was hired in 1922 and stayed until he retired in 1955. And it was very shortly after that he became equipment manager for the Green Bay Packers.
Only the lighting fixtures are the same as when Dad Brazier once lived here, but the items are meant to inspire Packers fans who are invited to come and see this place, reflecting a time when the legends of the game lived among the rest of us.
Dad Brazier became part of our family, and of course Dad Brazier had his extended family was a lot of the members of the Green Bay Packers. And as a result, a lot of them became regulars here. We actually redid the room after many years after he had passed and tried to do it kind of as a tribute room. We're no longer in the long-term business, however.
If somebody wanted to see this room for themselves, what's the best way?
For them to see it themselves, obviously, they could come, have dinner if they would like, but it's open for people to come and take a look at. In one sense, it's kind of like a museum, but it's really a living museum because it is still being used as a hotel.
But wait, Dad Brazier left a lasting legacy when it comes to the pipes. He installed his own private bathroom using his bonus money from the championship games. Coming up, something's fishy.
They found places that they maybe would not have found had they not had the guide, so it's great.
The folks who brought you the Old-Fashioned Passport and the Supper Club Guide are at it again. Stay with us. There is perhaps only one other tradition that rivals the Wisconsin Supper Club, and that's the Friday fish fry. As if we needed an incentive to belly up, here's a new way to save some green. Nothing says Friday in Wisconsin like a good old-fashioned fish fry. And now some of the most well-known influencers on steak culture are joining forces to save you money the next time you go out.
It gives people destinations to go to that maybe they never even knew existed.
The idea was cooked up by the couple known on Facebook as the Supper Club Chasers, with help from the founder of Venture Wisconsin. They're the same people who brought you the Cocktail Passport as well as the Supper Club Dining Destinations Guide.
Businesses that are in here, they did it for the culture. They did it for you. They want you to come and experience their fish. They're going to be busy regardless.
This one goes beyond supper clubs to include pubs and restaurants, and it's a $10 discount across the board. The other new ingredient is the contributions of the social media sensation Ryan Rubel, whose Facebook pages include fish fry reviews and Meanwhile in Wisconsin.
13 years ago, I started up my first Wisconsin pages just to kind of show people what I love to do, like hunting, fishing, Packers, Badgers, fish fries, and old fashions.
What is your most popular guide right now?
So right now, our most popular guide is the Supper Club Guide, but we'll see what happens with this fish fry guide. I mean, fish fries are extremely popular. You can find all this stuff at venturewisconsin.com.
How long have you run the business now?
So we're going on 8 years now.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I was still in college when we launched, and the goal is really to get people out exploring our state and making the most of their free time.
The collaborators also say it's really important that this fish fry guide will get visitors to communities that may rely on the football season, like here at Stadium View, or great weather up north for snowmobiling. When that doesn't happen, they still may visit because they've got the guide.
So all these guides have the same purpose, is give people a reason to get out and find new places.
And celebrate what Wisconsin has.
Exactly, you know, and who doesn't love a fish fry?
We have one more tasty morsel to go, and it's an age-old tale from the old sod that's still shared today in De Pere.
Great-great-grandfather's same name, McKim Boyd. He was the first in our family to come over from Ireland.
Whether you're Irish or not, many celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Before we bid ye farewell, some Irish dish and how the operator of the Union Hotel Supper Club got his unique name.
Okay, McKim Boyd, capital MC, capital K-I-M. Great-great-grandfather's same name, McKim Boyd. He was the first in our family to come over from Ireland, and my father thought I should take on that name. And in reality, it is a last name. The second-born son in Ireland a lot of time took on the mother's maiden name. So in all likelihood, that's where it derived from.
Hats off to all the wonderful supper clubs who have welcomed us in over the years. And to see how they dish in Ireland, check out my Extra Sides feature, playing right now at wearegreenbay.com. Until next time, consider yourself served.
Local 5 was proud to bring you this special presentation of The Dish on Wisconsin Supper Clubs. Presented by Cellcom and Appleton Retirement Community. Thank you for watching.